Yeah, I am. It seems like, Butch is on his microphone. It seems like he's really called Woody Quinn's name out quite a bit these last few practices. How is Woody responding to that, and how is he maybe adjusting to this first week of practice in the SEC?
Coach has been hard on Woody. I've been hard on Woody. Woody's a very prideful individual. It's important to him. I mean, there's no question about that. So as far as that's concerned, he's taking that hard, but not losing confidence with it. He understands that I'm coaching him, Coach Jones is coaching him to get better, and that's our ultimate goal. It's not to get on him because we like doing that. It's to get him better. And the thing that we always say is you don't worry when you're being coached, you worry when you're not. And if you're not doing something right and a coach just lets it go by, that's not good. That means I'm not sure he can do this. But we're on him. Why? Because we think that he's got ability. He can help us. He's going to be able to contribute for us. That's why Coach Jones has been on him. That's why I've been on him. And new guys to the system, you want to build up that callus. You want to build up that thick skin so that they can take it. This is going to be his first time playing in front of a big crowd and things along those lines. And so we want to make sure that he's focused and that he's not letting those outside distractors get into him.
He kind of talked about how he ended up here, kind of took a circuitous route through volleyball, kind of started with Tennessee's past that. Just what did first time you looked at his film, what jumped out at you about him and about his abilities?
Well, we liked his film right from the get-go for a number of reasons. We liked his size and his frame. We liked him as a blocker. We thought he was a good receiver, solid athlete. So he fit a lot of the things that we're looking for as far as size, speed, parameters, as far as him as a blocker. I mean, he's still a little bit raw, but you saw some good things on film and saw what he could do. It was just a matter of him doing it on a consistent basis. And we thought he was a big, good target as a wide receiver. And it was intriguing when you then learn that, hey, this is his first time playing football in a while. So when you saw things that you liked and you realized, boy, he hasn't even been doing this very long, you get even a little bit more excited about that, saying, okay, I know it's going to be a learning curve for him. It's going to take him a little while because he doesn't have as much of a base, but at the same time, as he gets it, he's going to have a higher ceiling because of the fact that he's not maxed out. It's not like he's been taking these reps for 10 years and what he is. So that was an encouraging thing, something that we liked about him as well.
Coach Jake talked about how he likes the offensive potential so far. How's the tight ends? How pleased are you or not pleased?
Well, we've had MAs, so I'm never pleased if we've got MAs. We haven't been perfect with that. I don't think it's been a consistent position as far as having a ton of MAs, but they've got to be eliminated. MAs they're drive killers, and we've got to do everything we can to be extremely consistent with our effort, with our technique, and our assignment. Obviously, that's extremely important. When you start missing assignments, drives are going to end. So we've been pretty good, but it's not up to the standard that I have. I'd like for us to be 100%. Every single game we should grade out with 0 little tick marks in that MA column at the end of the day.
Have you been pretty pleased so far with overall the progression of picking up the offense? Because Mike Jake a minute ago was saying that nothing's ever perfect the way you want it to be, but generally these guys are picking it up at a pretty good rate.
Yes, but again, my standard is extremely high. I want it to be perfect as far as assignments are concerned. I'm certainly understanding that technique, you're going to have some things come up that you're going to make a technique mistake, and we're going to coach it and correct that stuff. When we're in team, when we're in Skelly, when we're in those situations, the assignments have to be 100%. We haven't had a great deal of missed assignments, no. But we've had a couple. We've had more than what I'd like to have. I think that I've got a smart group of guys in my room, which is a positive thing. And so certainly with a smart group, you want that to be 100% as far as MAs. So it's not where I want it to be, but it's certainly not setting us back. But it's got to be 100%. We can't have any missed assignments.
Are the new guys making those improvements too? What have you seen from, Quinn and Brandon, the two newcomers there, tight end? Are they able to pick things up right now, or is it still kind of treading a little bit?
Woody is picking things up very well in the classroom. He has a very good understanding in that classroom in a calm, cool setting where he can say, this is my assignment, this is what I'm doing, this is my technique. When it gets out onto the field, he does again, a pretty good job, but the game's going a little bit fast for him, which is natural. It's natural for you to pick up the game in a calm, cool setting right there where you can recite what it is. It's another thing to be able to execute technique and execute physicality, and that's where we need to progress as far as that's concerned. With AJ, he's a little bit further behind, but not bad. He's picking it up and so forth. He's probably playing just a little bit faster as far as that's concerned, out there just kind of swinging around. His technique's all over the place and so forth, but he's giving a good amount of effort and trying to be physical.
Is it tough with a guy like Quinn, because you look at him physically and look at this guy, this is big tight end, he's played football forever, you think, and then you remember, wait, he's only really played it for 2 of the past 6 years or something like that. Is it tough is that maybe where some of that comes from, the football speed stuff?
Well, I think a lot of it is really going to be the fact that you're out there thinking, and he's a guy, he's a prideful individual, he wants to do things right. And so when you're in your stance and you say, hey, I got a base block, I got to have my proper footwork, I got to put my hat right here, I got to make sure my hands are inside, you start thinking about all those things, you forget that really what the game is about is it's me against you, and I've got to kick your tail. And it's really about physicality. And that technique stuff is extremely important, don't get me wrong, but that stuff is going to help you, when you're right there and you're barely losing. If you're not firing off the football because you're thinking about all those little things, it doesn't matter if you have the right footwork. If you're not firing off the football, and that guy is, you're going to lose that battle. So as far as that stuff is concerned, he's slowing down and losing a little bit of physicality because he's thinking a lot. And he was a little bit better today as far as physicality is concerned, mainly because my emphasis to him today was, hey, don't worry about hat placement and all the proper footwork. The guy across from you, fire off the football and beat him up, and today he showed a little bit more physicality with that because I think he stopped thinking and said, okay, I'm blocking the defense, and I just run into that guy as hard as I can, and Coach Albert's just going to coach me up on the technique. So.
Go ahead, Paul. You talk a lot about physicality, and obviously we hear it. Coach Jones on the mic yelling at Woody to be more physical. At UC, you guys had 3,000-yard rushers. How much pride do you even take in as a tight ends coach to be able to help produce that?
A tremendous amount of pride. No different than the offensive line, and for that matter, for the receivers. I know the receivers coach and the receivers always take a ton of pride in how many yards we're rushing because it's all a big picture. We're all part of that picture. If you have a guy that's rushing for 1,000 yards, he's probably got some 25, 30-yard carries. And you don't get those if you're not blocking down the field. So whether we're right next to that tackle and we're blocking a defensive end or we're flexed out blocking a nickel or a safety, we take a tremendous amount of pride in that stuff. And the physicality part of the game, you gotta love the physicality part of the game. You gotta want to be a tough guy, and that's an important part of it.
Hey Mark, I saw Coach Jake. I saw Coach Jake today working at a number of different positions, into individual one-on-ones. How important is it when you're ahead of the offense is sort of showing that level of instruction all around the field?
That's really important, and Coach Jake does a great job of working with each group and group coaching so that we're all on the same page, because to be a great offense, you got to be a unit, and that's difficult to do with 11 different guys, because there's 11 different guys going in 11 different directions, but it's all got to be together. It's like an orchestra. So you got to have one guy in front that's making sure that everything's going as it should together. And so I think it's great how he'll get the quarterbacks together with the running backs and do the footwork and the mesh point and things along those lines. We get together with him and do some route stuff. Same thing with the wide receivers. And before practice, they're doing everything as far as the cadence with the line. So all that stuff's extremely important. He's got his hands in everything, and I like that. I love being with him during those individual periods because I see it. It's an important part that I'm saying the exact same thing that he's saying. And that's what's also important about having been together for a long period of time, because he can start a sentence and I can finish it for him a lot of times. And the same thing that I'm saying in my meeting room is what he once said. And that's important because it's one clear message to the whole team. And that's what's great. We've all pretty much been around together under Coach Jones, working in the same system, and we've grown and we move a little bit right and left as far as we may emphasize certain personnel groups, whatever our personnel strength is for that year, but we know what we're doing. We got a set system, and everybody's working in unison to get there.
Alex, the volleyball